Well, speaking of numbers, let's get back to Wheeler over here and see what's the big board is looking like. Who is voting for what, especially when it comes to president in this state and for the U.S. Senate.
Yeah, Jason, this is that point of the night where it's really kind of hard because we're just getting that first trickle of those 9 million early votes that happened here in Texas, 9 million plus. But we can start to glean a few little things here. You know, with a lot of these counties, we're using an estimated total vote. The AP, the Associated Press, does this where they put together how many people voted early, and then they reach out to all these elections officials all across the state and ask them, what was your election day turnout like as well? And then with that, with all of that information, they come up with what they think is going to be the number of people voting, and that is this estimated total vote here. Now, when you have counties coming in at 47%, 71% even, you can make a few little assumptions, but it helps when you start getting into the 90s. So let's do that. We've got for Denton County, this is, you know, the AP thinks this is 92% of the estimated vote in Denton County. You can see the former president here up by 53,000 votes or so over Vice President Harris. But let's look at what happened last time in 2020. You can see here that Trump is actually outperforming in Denton County with a good amount of the vote in now, the estimated vote. He's outperforming there. But it's not the same story everywhere you go. You see Rockwall from the last time, he's overperforming there as well. But then you get down here into Kaufman County, you see 64%. He did 66% last time. Again, this is with a lot of the vote counted in these different counties. Let's head down to Ellis County, 65.5% this time. He did about a percentage point better last time. And so that is encouraging to the Harris campaign. Also, of course, encouraging to the Allred campaign because, you know, the fact that people might go down the ballot and vote in a certain way there. Let's bring in the totals here as we look at the U.S. Senate race. Right now, this is statewide. The difference between the two candidates is about 25,000 votes. This is with very little of the vote counted at this point, though. We only have about 2.5 million votes being counted here. Right now, we know that, again, more than 9 million votes were cast just in early voting. But again, you start to see some of this breakdown in the counties as well. We do not yet have in a lot of the big county votes, although we did just see Fort Bend pop on here. That is one that is watched closely by people on both sides of the aisle because that has been sort of a swingy county in recent elections. This is 86% of the vote in there, Allred at 52%, Cruz at almost 46%. We were told on Inside Texas Politics this week by Matt Engel, who is a Democratic strategist. He's looking at several different counties here. Fort Bend is one that they're keeping an eye on, but also Tarrant County is really big. They were saying, he was basically saying that Allred needs to get to like a 52%, a 53% of the vote there to really be doing well tonight. Right now, he's sitting at 48.1%. That's with 69% of the vote in there. He would have to outperform what Beto O'Rourke did back in 2018 when he got almost right at 50%. And again, he's falling short of that, at least for right now anyway. But as you can see, Allred is outperforming Harris there in Tarrant County. So there's some folks who are jumping around on the ballot there, voting differently in different races, Jason.
Show us briefly here Collin County and Denton County as well.
Yeah, I just saw Collin County pop on here as well, so let's take a look at that. This is the first we've seen from them tonight. I'm going to take that out of the view here. This is with 90% of the vote in right now. Allred sitting at 45.6%, Cruz at 52.6%, about a 30,000 vote difference. And again, this is, you know, we go back to that Democratic strategist who talked to us over the weekend. He said he really needs to be, Allred needs to be breaking even here, about 49, 50% in order for this to be a good night for him. And again, that's with 90% of the vote in Collin County. So at this point, they're missing that mark in that campaign. And you wanted to see Denton County as well. Let's look at that. You can see Cruz ahead there by 38,000 votes. Again, that's with 92% of the vote in at this point. So this Collin County number, not encouraging to the Allred campaign. But again, this is 90% of the estimated total vote. We don't know for sure what that total vote's going to end up being, but this is expected to be pretty close to accurate.